sleeping, like, you know, the North Bay jackets. We're talking about in Egypt, I'm sleeping with my coat on with covers in the summertime because I had a fever that bad. Yeah. So, it was difficult. But I had some good teachers when I was there. So we're late. We started recording. All right, bismillah wa salatu wa salam ala rasulillahi wa ba'd. Okay, so quick review. Last class we did what we would call ta'rif, or you could also say ma'arif or ma'rifa, which is definite, dealing with definite articles. And then eventually we're going to get into which is called nakira, which is indefinite articles. So we said there was like 5 or 6. We mentioned we had arafu ma'arif, from all the definite articles that's just known is Allah's name. The second one is a domir, which is like a pronoun. Okay, because when someone uses a pronoun, they have to know who's being spoken about. And that's what we're covering, continuing to cover today. So we mentioned that the domir is 2 types, munfasil and muttasil, the one that's disconnected and the one that's connected. Then we gave the 2 types for the munfasil. We got the one that is either the mawdu' of the jumla, which is the subject of the sentence, or it's for emphasis. So that's when it's repeated, and it's not connected to a word. So like ana, anta, anti, huwa, wa hiya, and nahnu, antuma, antuma, huma, huma, and then nahnu, antum, antunna, hum, wa hunna. And then we gave the ones that are what we would call what do we say? The adjective, accusative, right? So we like iya, iyaya, iyaka, iyaki, iyahu, iyaha, iyana, iyakuma, iyakuma, iyahuma, iyahuma, and iyana, iyakum, iyakunna, iyahum, and the last one, iyahunna. So now we started with the damir that is actually connected. The one that's muttasil, it means connected to a word. Okay? It's connected to the word. So we're going to start here. Everybody just repeat after me. Fa'ala, fa'alat, fa'ala, fa'alata, fa'alu, fa'alna, fa'alta, fa'alti, fa'altuma, fa'altuma, fa'altum, fa'altunna, fa'altu, fa'alna, fa'alna. Okay? Now, if you look at the first one, which is fa'ala, okay? There are, first of all, this type of fi'l, fa'ala is a madin, it's past tense. It's for action that happened before the person spoke. Okay? It's before qabla az-zaman al-mutakallim, right? It's before the person actually spoke. So that's the first thing, is past tense. The second thing that, because when you see this pattern, look, fa'ala, when you see these 3 like this, okay? Now, you will see a fatha on here, right? And a fatha here, okay? In terms of the middle one, that changes. In terms of, when I'm talking about the harakat, the vowel. This vowel will change, and we're going to go over, there are 6 patterns, 6, okay? But the first one will have fatha, and the second one will have fatha. So, number 1 is for the past tense, al-madi. The second is that when I see this word, it's singular. It's mufrad, singular, for one individual. Now, when we talk about individuals, we have 3 types of individuals. You have the first person, mutakallim. You have the second person, a mukhatab or mukhataba, the person that I'm addressing, I'm speaking to. and then you have the third person, which is the ghaib or the ghaiba, which is the person that we're talking about, right? Male or female, mudhakkar, muannath, right? Oh, when I say the word mudhakkar, that means masculine. Muannath means feminine. Okay? It's like Allah says, وَاللَّيْلِ إِذَا يَغْشَى وَالنَّهَارِ إِذَا تَجَلَّى وَمَا خَلَقَ الذَّكَرَ وَالْأُنثَى. The dhakar is the male, untha is the female. Okay? So we have, so the next thing is that it's, first of all, it's maldi, it's singular, right? Then also it's mudhakkar, is masculine. And the last thing is for the third person, the ghaib. So what does that mean? Every action has to have someone who's doing it, or that action is like in Arabic, qa'im bihi, it's part of him, right? Like for example, if someone is tall, right? It's part of him, okay? But it's part of something. You understand? So what does that mean? Every fi'l, every what we call a verb in English, has to have someone who's doing it, even in English. Okay? An action cannot do it, it can't be an action on its own. Someone has to be doing it. So, automatically, inside of this, you don't see it, the one who's doing the action is what? Huwa. When you see this pattern, fa'ala, it's huwa. That's inside. And the PDF is online, so if you printed it out, so it's easier now. Muhammad gave a good suggestion last class, so now you can print it out and just write on the printout. Next one, fa'alat. When you see this ta'u ta'nith, right? When you see this here, which can only go on a fi'l, and it can only go on a past tense fi'l, right? It means that this is what? Mu'annath, it's feminine. And also it's what? Ghaiba, it's for the third person. So what's inside of it is what? Hiya. That's the pronoun that's inside. So who is in this one, and he is in this one. Automatically. And this is when you don't have an ismul zahir, which will be like if we don't have a proper noun, right? So like if I said, fa'ala Muhammad, Muhammad did. So now I know who did it. But if I take Muhammad out and I just said fa'ala, what is huwa? But you have to know who did it, right? The next one is fa'ala. And yes.
Are you allowed to say huwa fa'ala?
If you say huwa fa'ala, right? Now you change what kind of sentence it is, right? It is permissible, but then it also brings kind of almost like emphasis to the sentence, especially if you say fa'ala huwa, okay, fa'ala huwa, because you just repeated the pronoun. Because when you said fa'ala, huwa is already inside, and then when you said huwa again, it's like you repeated the pronoun. So now you made tawkid, right? Or ta'kid. You made emphasis now, okay? But huwa fa'ala, okay? We're going to learn there's two types of jumla in Arabic. There's two types of sentences, okay? You got jumla to ismiya and jumla to fi'liya, okay? There's only two types of sentences in Arabic. And we're going to learn that. You don't got to write that down. Now, you heard what I said, jumla to ismiya. We learned what an ism is. So that means the sentence that starts with a ism. And jumla to fi'liya is a sentence that starts with a fi'l. So if I say huwa fa'ala, huwa is an ism. The pronoun's an ism. So now I made it a jumla to ismi. I made it a ism jumla. Okay? Or let's just use the word now, a noun sentence. But I said fa'ala, right? Muhammad or fa'ala huwa. Now that's a jumla to fi'li. That's a what? A verb sentence because it started with a verb. Okay? And when you study balagha and stuff like that later on, they do have some difference in terms of the meaning, but they will be translated the same way if the translator doesn't really know balagha. Yeah. Which a lot of people don't know the balagha, right? So fa'ala. So now look, see this here? Look, fa'ala. All I did was I just added an aleph there. That's called aleph ithnaini. Alephu ithnaini. This aleph here indicates two people doing action. It indicates how many people? Two. Ithnan. Two people doing an action. Two. Let's use the mouse. That one, the mouse is clear? I can see it good. Alright. Oh, wrong one. So this one, fa'ala, right, tells me that two people are doing the action. It's past tense, right? It's maldin. Also, it's at least one male doing it. Because remember, this one is for huma. Okay? At least one male. This one you cannot use for two females. You only can use this one, fa'ala, for either a male and a female or two males. This one right here. This one right here. So this now it's becoming more detailed, right? When it comes to the pronoun. Because remember before I said huma.
This one is only male, right?
No, this one here is either two males or one male or one female. Fa'ala. The next one, fa'alata. The same thing. Look at this one, fa'alat. I added a fatha and I added the alif ithnain. So that means it's two what? Females. And this here. Now look, except for this one, yeah, those two, there's no way I was able to just highlight the aleph by itself. But the aleph by itself is the pronoun which is equal to huma. When it's connected to this pattern. Okay?
And in the case of here, that is the pronoun?
Which one?
The here?
This one here?
The here, right before it.
This one?
Yeah. So that would be the pronoun?
The pronoun's inside. That's why I have nothing in red.
It's inside.
Yeah, it's inside. You know it from just the pattern. So like, let's say a whole bunch of words. Darabat, akalat, jarat, dahabat. Just from that pattern alone, you will automatically know it's a female who did it, singular, and she's being spoken about, third person, automatically from just knowing the pattern. All you gotta do is memorize these patterns. And then just, when you see a word, you just match it up with it. And you're like, okay, so the word darabat. Let's give an example. I'll use this box right here. Right? So let's look at this. Da, ra, right? See that? Darabat. When I see this word, right? See the dad, the fa, the ra, the ayn, the ba, the lam, and then this ta, a ta'neeth, right? It lines up. So this means that one female who's being spoken about did this action. So all I gotta do is go to a dictionary, Arabic English dictionary, and I look up these three letters here, la, ra, ba, and it means it says to hit, or he hit. But here it would mean she hit. From just knowing the pattern, yes.
I have a question. I have a hard time reading. How do you know they have the fatha on top without the fatha?
Because at your level, what you're gonna do, you're gonna start off with books that have the harakat, the tashkil. Okay? You're gonna start off with the books that have the fatha, kasr, and dhamma. And then once you learn these words and you hear these words, now when you read them without them, you know what the word is.
Because without that, I cannot tell like it's a
Because
fatha.
at the level that you're at now, maybe a year or two from now, you're gonna know. You're gonna start even certain words less than a year, 6 months from now, inshallah. Maybe like next semester, Allah gives us all good health and makes the way clear for us. You're gonna memorize words, and then you'll be able to notice those words or recognize those words without the tashkil, okay, without the harakat, okay? So now look at this. If I take this away, daraba, that means it's this pattern. If I add an aleph, now it's this pattern. If I add a ta aleph, it's this pattern, which means it's two females doing the action. Two females. That one is exclusive for only two females. It can't be one male, one female. Only two females. The next one. Fa'alu. So look, everything is created from this. Everything, all the patterns start from this one. All we're doing is just adding to the end. So this is what we did. For this one, we just added the tab with sukoon. This one, right, we just added the aleph. This one here, we had the ta, we added the fatha and the aleph. The next one, if you look at it, we have a fa, right, from fa'ala. So all we did was we look at the lam at the end, and we changed the fatha, we changed it to a dhamma, and we put this wow here, which is called wow jama'ah. And then this fasila, this aleph here, right, or fariqa, this aleph here, is just to separate this wow from any word that comes after it, so that you know that this is wow jama'ah. It's called wow jama'ah because it's the wow for a group, congregation, group. Wow jama'ah. Like we have salatul jama'ah, right? So wow jama'ah means a group. It's 3 or more individuals, but it has to be at least one male inside. At least one. Okay, this one right here. At least one. Like when we say, إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا. See that wow with jama'ah at the end? إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا. Right? Let's see if we can pull up so you can see it. Look at Asr, right? Look, see? We have here, look, that's wow jama'ah. And then that's the alif, fariqa, fasila, right? And then look here, where amilu, see? It's right here. See that? Okay, wa amilu salihat. So this is telling you it's a group of people that believe, right? A group of people that believe. It's three or more, at least one male inside, right? And also that is past tense. الذين آمنوا في past tense, right? وعملوا الصالحات, past tense, and he did, right? Good what? So good deeds, right? Righteous deeds. It's telling you that what? It's in the past. And then the last one on this line, because I'm doing all the singular, and all of these are for the person that for the third person. This first line here is for the third person. Okay, that whole first row, excuse me, at the saf al-awwal, right? Saf al-awwal is all for the third, is for the third person, what we talking about. So the last one, if you look at the end, look what I did, look here. So we got fa ayin lam, right? So what we did, we put a sukoon on the lam, and then we attach this noon, which is called noon in niswa. This means that it's for three or more females that did this action. 3 or more females that did the action. Okay? Fa'alna. All you gotta do is add the sukoon at the end, on the lamb, and add it. That's called noon in this one. So the ones in red, this alif is a pronoun, a domir. This alif here is a domir. I couldn't separate it from the lamb and the ta. Sorry, because this ta is not a domir. And this wow is a domir, right? And the noon. Now in this case, right? In this case, the pronoun that's inside here is huwa. The one that's inside this one is here. The one here is not inside. It's actually the aleph. But this aleph is equal to what? Huma. This aleph here is equal to huma. This wow here, because of the pattern, because of the wazn, is equal to hum. This noon here, because of the wazn, the pattern, right, is equal to what? Hunna. So let's move to the next one. Now we're going to talk about the mukhatab, right? Or mukhatabun, or whatever. Mukhatabat, mukhatabani, mukhatabatani, and the mukhatibun and mukhatibat. We're talking about the third person, the one who we are speaking to, right? So this is what we did. Remember, everything's in fa'ala. We put a sukoon on the lamb. And then I added this ta with a fatha. Fa'anta. So let's all repeat it first. Fa'anta. Fa'anti. Fa'antuma. Fa'antuma. Fa'antum. Fa'antunna. So fa'anta, this ta here is actually the damir. That's the pronoun. And it's equal to what? Uh-oh, mistake there. It's equal to enter. Right? It's equal to what? Enter. Which means you. But for who? Mudhakkar, to male, singular. Like if I said, هل فعلت الواجب? Did you do the homework? You understand? And I prefer to say have a date to wajib. But it's okay to say that. There's so many words in Arabic, and it depends on like certain countries, like Egypt, they like this word, father. some countries like, you know, Amila, you know, depends on the country, and they're like all the words mean the same thing, but they just prefer to use that one word. The next one is the same thing you're gonna do. You're gonna put a sukoon on there, and you're gonna put a on the lam, right? It's called lamo kalima, or this fa'al kalima, ayin kalima, lamo kalima. So you're gonna add a T, ta with kesra, fa'al T, which is equivalent to what? Anti. The next one, fa'antuma, right? This one is for two individuals I'm talking to, but only it has to be at least one male in there. So it could be, I could use it for, I could say fa'antuma, I'm talking to both of them, or I'm talking to you two here, fa'antuma. So it could be, this could be two males, or one male and one female. Same with like the first one we did with like fa'ala fahuma, same thing. The next one, fa'antuma. This one is only for two females. I'm talking to them, like I'm talking to both of you. Fa'antuma. But remember, it's past tense. All we dealing with now, this whole is all al-maldi. All of it's past tense. All is past tense. Action already happened. Even though sometimes past tense can be used for the present tense, and that's later on. Yes.
So
Now,
they both look like the same word. How are you able to differentiate between
from the
words?
sentence, from the jumla.
Oh,
Yeah. Like I would say, Muhammad, ya Muhammad, wa ya Zayd, you know, fa'antuma, like that. And then remember, we're dealing with what? The dama'ir, pronouns. So the listener, the sami', he has to know who the person who's being spoken about. Even in English, I can't do that. I said to you, both of them, like, who are you talking about? Like, I already it has to be known already. That's why this is the Damir, in terms of the ma'arif, right? It's from the strongest, because you already have to know who's being spoken about. Right? Fa'antum. Fa'antum, right? This tum at the end, the damir, some scholars say the meme is for Jamal, whatever. It's not a big deal, right? Is equivalent to antum. Okay, it's equivalent to what? Antum. So like if I say antum for antum, it's like repetitive. I don't have to do that. Or for antum, antum. Obviously, that's why in Arabic, the scholars dealing with balagha, they said when you do that, it's repetitive. You're repeating the same thing twice, then it's for emphasis, it's for ta'keed or tawkeed. You're emphasizing, okay? And a lot of people nowadays, see, they're not fasih. Fasih is like when you're eloquent in speech. So like what you're saying agrees with what your intent is, okay? And a lot of people, Arabs that use Arabic, they're not eloquent with their speech because they're using a language in a way it doesn't agree with what they mean. So like if I say, ijlis anta, that's for emphasis, and the person if he doesn't intend emphasis, that's not eloquent. A lot of people that's just the way that people talk, the way they speak. Okay? Like people don't know when to use inna and stuff like that. last one, and فأنتن. You know all of these. All I did was put a sukoon on the lam, and then add the damir to the end. The damir, the pronoun to the end. So فأنتن is 3 females or more only, and I'm talking to them. I think I skipped the explanation for antum. It's the same with antum.
We don't have the recording for last one.
No, the thing shut off on me. I didn't recognize it. I was so much into the class, and I've never. It's my first time doing it like this way. This whole setup.
Okay.
So we'll learn as we get along. We'll go along. Yeah. All right. So for antum, at least 3, talking to them, antum. Like if I'm talking to this whole class, I can use for antum. Okay. It's because we have at least one male here. Now the last one. Same thing you're doing. The lamb, you're putting sukoon. And then you add in ta with dhamma. The ta is maftuha. Maftuha. Fa'antu. Meaning I, me. Fa'antu. First person. Mutakallim. So it's telling you that one person and the one who's speaking is the, it's someone who's speaking, first person, singular, and it's past tense, fa'antu. And for, yes.
So I'm not sure if this is maybe it's a different case, but when I hear ana, I usually hear it with like an alif after it. It's like ana afal or something like that.
Oh, you're talking about ana afal?
Yeah.
We're gonna get to that next.
Oh, that's something else?
That's present tense.
Oh, okay.
So we're doing all past tense now.
Okay.
Because remember, it's 3. You have al-maldi, al-mudara, and then what? Al-amr. So, fa'altu, right? Some people, you hear them say, ana fa'altu, ana. Like I said, it's repetitive. You're repeating the same pronoun. It's already there. It's already inside, fa'altu, right? You say fa'altu al-wajib. I don't have to say ana fa'altu al-wajib. Fa'altu al-wajib. That's it. When I put the ana, that means something else. Yeah. You translate the same, but you put extra on it. Yeah. It's repetitive. Because you're saying the same pronoun twice. See, ana in the front, fa'altu. Again. And even you put it behind. So it's like repetitive. And most of the Arabs, that's how they talk. They speak.
Repetitive.
Yeah, very repetitive. But it's for tawqid, and they just don't. They're not fasih. They're not eloquent with their speak. Back in the days when the time of the Prophet, the Sahaba, they would looked at them like these people don't know Arabic. Yeah, they were very eloquent back then. Especially someone like Hajjaj ibn Yusuf. People would have been in real trouble with him. Okay, fa'alna. The same. We're not going. Fa'alna. This noon al-azama is for 2 people, which is equivalent to nahnu. It's 2 people who are talking, meaning us. But it's what past tense. Now, we're Muslims. Everybody here is Muslim. We're talking about the Quran now. Well, this is not even that we're Muslim. This is for Quranic Arabic. When you're reading the Quran, and Allah is addressing Himself, and He uses the na, He's talking about Himself. He's talking about a singular, but it's for azama. He's showing greatness, glory, majesty. It's not because you have some people that try to say, well, your Quran, gives testimony to the Trinity, and you say no, you're mistaken. The Arabic language, when this is used in the Arabic language called nun and azama, and it's for one individual, and it's even in the English language and other languages as well. Okay, Queen of England said, and we did this and we did that. She's talking about herself. But just show might and glory. Okay? And majesty. So it doesn't mean that. Like when we say, Inna anzalnahu fi laylatil qadr. Allah talking about himself. And we sent it down. We translate it as we, but Allah is not talking about him and, other individuals or parts or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So it's not like people, they try to use this against us and say the Quran shows that there's a Trinity and stuff like that. This same language was used with the Torah as well in Hebrew, and Jewish people do not understand God to be three. Okay? They don't believe in the Trinity. It's the same type of language. Okay? We know Arabic, Aramaic, and Arabic are brother-sister languages. You ask someone who speaks Hebrew, and they'll tell you, yeah, we have that in our language. So you say when God refers to himself like, do you understand God as being more than one? They're going to say no. It's one and it's for majesty. So it's called Nun al-Azama. It's very important. And not even the pagan Arabs during the time of the Prophet, when they heard the Quran, ever said, your Quran contradicts itself, because 1 minute Allah is talking about the first person singular and he's using the nun. They understood Arabic, so they never even used this against the Muslims. So if those people who were knew the Arabic language better than anybody after them, and they didn't use that against the Muslims, how could people who came centuries later who don't even know Arabic use it against Muslims? All right? Or against the Quran. Right? Now, so this, this is male or female, doesn't make a difference. It could be 2 females, 2 males, male and female. It could be a group with one, at least a male and female together, just all females, all males. It doesn't make a difference. This one, the fa'alna, okay. But also it can be used for, ta'zim, right? To glorify. Now let's go to al-mudari'. I'm not going to go into detail about the mudari' because we're going to study the fi'l by itself. I'm going to even tell you why is it called mudari'? Okay? Why is it even called that? But what are we doing right now? We're all dealing with the what? Ism. We're only dealing with the ism. So now let's look at this word. Everybody, this kalima. So we're gonna eventually we're gonna start using, it's called Arabish. Right? So it's gonna be Arabic and English. Right? And like after this semester, once we start learning now more vocabulary, we're going to use Arabish. And Arabish is whatever Arabic words you know, that's what you're going to use. And you're going to use them in your sentence, and you're going to use English also. And then as your vocabulary increases, you're going to use less and less English words to now your whole sentence is what? Only Arabic. So that's how we're going to start off. It's like for example, if I only know the word I'm going. So I'm saying I'm going to the university, but I don't know how to say university. And right? So I would say Dhahabtu University. That's what we're going to use, Arabish. And then eventually it's going to be Dhahabtu, and I know Ila goes with it, Dhahabtu Ila, and then university, I'm going to find the word university, I'm saying Dhahabtu Ila Jamia, or to the college, Dhahabtu Ila Kuliya. So we're going to speak Arabish. Okay? So we're going to start. So everybody knows what kalima use, right? So I'm not going to use the word anymore. I'm going to say kalima. Okay? So this kalima here, if we look at it, remember, everything's measured against yuqas ala fa let's look how this one transformed. It transformed. It went from this, fa, ayin, lam, to now have, how many letters do we have? How many huruf, right? Huruf, we know is letters. How many we have here? 3, right? How many do we have here? So which one is the extra one? Which one is the extra harf? The ya, right? The ya is the extra harf. Now we look over here. What's the extra harf here? A ta. And over here, what is the extra one? Right here. What is the ya? And what else? Huh? Look at it. What else is extra here? It's more than the ya. Okay, the noon and one more. The aleph. Right? The ya, the aleph, and noon. Here is ta, aleph, and noon. If we look over here, what's extra there? Ya, wow, and noon. Right? And when we look at the last one, what's extra? Right? The ya and the noon. Okay?
And this is talking about the present tense?
Present tense. Now. Al-Mudara. Right now. This is what Sam was asking about. So when you see this wazn, you see a ya with a fatha. And we're going to learn when it has a dhamma as well. When we deal with the rubai and the khumasi and the sudasi. Because we're concentrating only on the ism now. This is all about ism. So we have a ya with fatha, a fa with a sukun, right? And at the end we have a dhamma. Even though I can change the fatha, right? And it can change, and we can put sukun on it. But that not now. We didn't get there yet. So this word is yaf'alu. So let's say all of them. Yaf'alu, taf'alu, yaf'alani, taf'alani, yaf'aluna, yaf'alna. All this is for the third person. Present tense noun. So yaf'alu, the same as fa'ala, theضمير is where? Inside. The ضمير is inside, which is huwa. Time is class over?
1:30.
Oh, 1:30. Okay, we got 20 minutes. Okay. So now, what's inside is huwa. I know this is singular. It's mufrad. It indicates that it's mufrad, infirad, right? It's indicating also that it's mudari is present tense, and also that it's mudhakkar is masculine, and then also that it's the ghaib is talking about third person. So yaf'alu.
When you said singular?
Always the first. Oh, what I did, the first row is the first row is always singular. The second row, wait, no, sorry. Yeah, these two. Wait, yeah, this is These two are singular. These two in the middle are muthanna, is dual, and those at the end are plural. Okay. So these two singular. This is plural. Muthanna, dual, and this is plural. All right. So now, the next one, taf'alu. Same thing. It's a ta with fatha. I put a sukun on the fa. Right? Taf'alu, dhamma here, right? And it's like I said, this ayin here can change the harakat that's on there to a fatha or a kesra or to a dhamma. We're going to study that later. It's not now. Like I said, we're dealing with the ism. So what is inside? Right? Inside of this tef'alu is he is inside. Which is her, right? Who is him and he is her. The next one, yef'alani. Yef'alani. Everything is the same up to I added this aleph. Remember I told this aleph indicates what? Two. It's called aleph ithnani. Okay? Aleph ithnani. It shows two. Right? And then this, right, at the, right, and added this noon with kesra, later on, which we call, it's called noon araf. We'll learn that later on. So, yef'alani, which means it's huma, two males, or one male and one female that did the action when? Now. They're doing it now. Yef'alani, they're doing it now. It's two males or one male and one female. At least one male inside. There's only two individuals when you see this pattern like this. Now, how do I know it's huma? Because of the ya in the front. Just like I know this is huwa because what? The ya in the front. I know this one is here because of the ta. Even though later on we're going to learn the enter. An anti, and I did it again. Speeding. I was rushing doing this. Okay. So now tef'alani. Right? Same pattern, just the taz in the front. Tef'alani is huma, meaning two what? Females. This one is somewhat, I'm not going to say confusing, right? But it's similar to antuma as well. And just like this one is similar to tef'alu, but you know from the sentence, okay? You know from the sentence. So tef'alani, right? Huma, two females. Yef'aluna, the ya in the front tells me it's the third person. Then this wow with jama again tells me that it's three or more individuals with at least one male inside. Yef'aluna. And the action is happening what? Now. The noon in this at the end. I put a sukoon. Oh, sorry. Let me go back. Let me break this down. Sorry. So the yef'alani, what I did was I put a fatha there, aleph ithnani. All the time when you put aleph ithnani, you always put the fatha before it, because that goes with aleph. See, yef'alani. See, right? It was the lamb originally had dhamma on it, so you're gonna put a fatha and you're gonna put add that tef'alani, right? Wow jama'ah. What goes with wow is dhamma. So that's why I'm going to put a dhamma on the lamb and add a what? Wow. Even though if the word is mu'tal, which we'll learn later on. But wow with jama'ah goes here. This one here, we have a lamb with sukoon, and we're adding what? The noon and niswa. Yef'alna. And this is why you have to learn how to recite the Quran properly. You have to pronounce words properly. Because if I say yaf'alna with an alif, I mean this is what I mean. What? Well, no, you can't really have yaf'alna, but oh, sorry, no. The example would be this one here. So like fa'alna and fa'alna. When you're reciting the Quran, or just in general, and you let that fatha go, and you elongate it, you just change the whole meaning. Because when I say fa'alna, short, fa'alna, that means 3 or more females did it. Past tense, right? When I say fa'alna, that means us. See, I just when I just let it go, look here, this one and this one. The only difference between them is this alif here. It's because I let it go. And you have people when they're reciting, they're elongating when it's supposed to be short. They're making it short where you're supposed to elongate. So if someone says, I'm not messed up, they say, and it was supposed to be elongated, they change the meaning, and vice versa. You can even commit acts of kufr, disbelief, but unintentionally. Like if you said, and amti alayhim, you're using the feminine. The female tense with Allah Azza wa Jal. You're supposed to use the masculine, even though Allah is not male or female. But in language, male shows dominance, and that because that's the dominant tense. So Allah uses that, even though He's not male or what or female. So it's you got to be very careful when you're doing this. Why I start. This is very important. A lot of people don't pay attention to it. And when you're reciting the Quran, and you just letting the fatha go and elongating, just change the meaning. Like I said, instead of saying "Qulna hasha lillah," they said "Qulna hasha lillah." Originally it was "Qulna hasha lillah," right? Meaning that it was a group of females, like they said, females, and now it turns into what we said because they just slipped. Which that type of lahan is like fahish, like that's a really bad mistake when you're reciting. Because you have mistakes that, as long as it doesn't change the meaning, it's not fahish. But when it's changing the meaning, it's like really fahish, it's bad, fahish. All right, so now, so you can see both. Taf'alu. The ta in the front indicates that I'm talking about what? The mukhatab. See, this ta in the front can be this one or this one. It could be that I'm talking about the third person female, or it could be the first person, not first person, second person male. They're both the same exact pattern. How do I know? From the sentence. So if I'm talking to Husam, I would say, tef'alu, or I could say, if I wanted to say, put emphasis, enter tef'alu, whatever, or tef'alu al-wajib, like that. But now if I'm talking about, your name.
Habiba.
Huh?
Habiba.
I gotta remember the name. That's okay. Habiba. So if I say, I'm talking to them, right? Or I'm talking to her, but I'm talking about you, I would say, Tefalu Habiba. See how I'm talking about her? So now you know which one I'm using, even though they're the same exact pattern, because I'm talking about them. Remember, first person, second person, third person. Takalam, Mukhatab, and Ghaib. So this Tefalu, same pattern. The Damir is inside, which is what? Enter. This one here, you will never hear the average Arab, they never use this. Never. That's how you know they're not speaking proper Arabic. Never. The average Arab, unless he wants to follow, he really wants to speak proper Arabic. And, right, Lughah Arabiya, Fusha, Fasiha, whatever, other than that, they're not using this tense here. When you hear somebody using this, you know they're speaking proper Arabic. This is when it's the what? Second person female. I'm talking to her. I would say Tef'alina Habiba, and then hold on.
Alina.
Huh? Alina, right? So I would say Tef'alina, I'm talking to you. This one you're going to see in the Quran. You're going to see it in the Hadith of the Prophet Muhammad. But amongst the regular people, you're not going to hear them use it. They're going to actually use the male for the female as well. That's how bad it is nowadays. And hopefully the Ajami, non-Arabs can revive using the language. Because we want to learn Arabic, So we might revive it, but the Arabs, no, they've done a disservice. So, Tef'alina, so this is what we did. We have the ta, which shows as mukhatib, second person, right? And in the lam kalima, we added a kesra. Oh, I was supposed to make this red. Where's it at? The yeah, right? It's called yeah mukhataba, right? That yeah. No. Ya mukhataba. This one, this is actually, it's not the lamb, because I'm not able to, this software won't allow me to do it. So the ya mukhataba, this ya here is actually the mean, which is equal to what? Anti. It's equal to anti. Next one, tef'alani. It's the same as, it's the same here as with the huma. Tef'alani, but you know from the sentence. So that tef'alani you can use with two males, one male, one female, two females. You would know from in siyaq al-jumla. You would know from the sentence itself. Next one. The difference between this yaf'alun and tef'alun. The difference is what? This has a ya. This ya is telling me that it's the ghaib or ghaibun. It's dealing with those on the third person, and this one is telling me that I'm talking to the individual second person, but this waw jama'ah is telling me that it's three people that I'm addressing. Like I say, tef'alun, I'm talking to all of you, but at least one male is in it. So that's why when you read in the Quran, you won't say, hold on, why is Allah only dressing males? Because when he says amanu with the waw jama or tefaluna or this, why no? It's the group. It's the whole ummah, male and female. And that waw jama, that's what it's for. As long as at least one male inside. When Allah wants to make it exclusive only for females, because you can't really make it, there's no pattern exclusive just for only really males, right? Because this pattern here can be for male and female inside. The only one that's exclusive for females is when I add the noon and niswa here at the end. That's exclusive for females. So tef'alna. This is yef'alna. This means that this is third person, 3 females or more. And tef'alna is third person, is second person, 3 or more females, which is equivalent to antunna. We have to speed up a little bit. This is the one you asked me about.
Yeah.
Efalu. When I see this aleph in the front here, with the fa with sukoon, this is saying that I'm the first person with the kelim. They're the ones doing the action. Efalu. This one, the one with the aleph. This is the first person, meaning I'm doing the action, and when am I doing it? Now, singular. Okay, and the damir, the pronoun is where? Inside, which is ana. So there's no need for me to say ana ajlis. Ajlisu ana. There's no need for that. I can just say ajlis, meaning I'm sitting. Now, I don't have to say ana ajlis. I don't need to do that. If I do that, it's repetitive, it's for a reason, it's putting some type of what? Emphasis on the sentence. I want to put more clarity. You understand? I want to add clarity, then I will repeat the damir. Ana ajlis, and put more clarity. But if I just say ajlis, person knows Arabic. It means I'm sitting. Like I'm saying, aqom or aqif, meaning I'm standing. I don't have to say ana aqif. I don't have to do that. And if I'm trying to show more clarity, emphasis, then I would do it because I'm being fasih. I'm being eloquent in my speech because it has to agree with what's inside. That's what balagha is. That's a long time from now. Long years. Right? I'm throwing a little bit at you, little by little. Nefalu. This noon, right? This noon meaning that us, we, 2 or more. 2, or it could be for 3. It could be 1 male, 1 female, 2 males, 2 females. A group of males with 1 female, a group of females with 1 male, all females. Nahnu meaning we. Like if we talk about this class, I would say what? Nefalu. Nefalu. Right? Like I would say nahnu or I could say nedrus. We're studying. Nedrus Lugat Arabiya. We're studying Lugat Arabiya. When are we doing it? Now. But that noon also can be used for ta'zim, showing glory, might. Okay? The last one, because we went over the time. Real quick. Al-Amr, which is a command. Right? Look at Fa, Ayin, Lam. Look how it changed, right? You're going to put this, which is called, it's called really Hamza Tawassul. People say Aleph, but it's Hamza Tawassul, right? You know, because there's no Hamza Tawassul, it has a Kesser on it. The Fa has a Sukoon. Now, let me show you. The scholars say it's created from this one, from this pattern, Anta. All the ones that is being addressed, because when I'm commanding somebody, I'm doing what? I'm talking to them. So it's created, right? It's created from this. From tef'alu, tef'alina, tef'alani, tef'alani, tef'aluna, tef'alna. It's created from that. So this is what they did. See this ta here? They took away the ta, right? And replaced it with the Hamza Tawassul or Aleph, right? With Kesra. You see that? And then what they did, they took the Dhamma away and put the Sukoon. So if I'm commanding, I'm talking to, what's your name again? Muhammad. I tell Muhammad, if I do, I'm talking to him, right? One person, singular. And the Dhamir that's inside is what? Enter. It's inside. I don't have to say if I will enter. Egyptians love to do that. Okay? Hopefully they're using it for emphasis. Good. You're following Balagha. If not, there's no need for it. I can just say Ijlis, sit. I'm going to say Ijlis, enter. Maybe you're talking to one of your sons. He's not listening. Ijlis, enter. Now you know you're serious, right? Now if you look here, Tef'alina. We did the same thing. We got rid of the ta. We add the Hamza Tawassul at the end, right? And then we got rid of the noon, which we're going to learn is noon araf. So now this went from Tef'alina to what? If Ali. So if I say if Ali, Alina, if Ali. So I'm talking to her to do the action. Okay? Kuli washrabi wa qarri aina. Right? Like Allah says, Usjudi. Irka'i. Allah, when he's talking to Maryam. Right? And we know when we're reading the Quran, if there's a letter before this, we don't pronounce this Hamza Tawassul, we skip over it, right? Now, we look at this one here, Tef'alani, both of them, right? So we can save time. I did the same thing. I get rid of the ta, I put the Hamza Tawassul, and I got rid of the noon. So what I have left is if ala, and the second one, if ala. So I'm talking to two of you, right? If ala al-wajib, right? Do the homework, right? Or if ala al-khayr, do good. I'm talking to both of you. Or you two. If ala al-khayr. Or two bales. If ala al-khayr, do good. Understand? I'm talking to two. Because the alif itnaini tells me that what? It's two individuals. The next one. If alu. That was created from what? Tef'aluna. I got rid of the ta in the front, replaced with the Hamza Tawassul, and I got rid of the noon. So all I got left is if alu. So when you see that in the Quran, like this pattern here, like Allah says, Udukhuluha bis-salam. Allah is saying, enter it. He's talking to a group of individuals that's more than three, and at least one male is it. We know he's talking about to all the people in Jannah, male or female. If udukhuluha bis-salam. Enter into what? Bis-salam. Allah is talking to a group. And the last one, if alna. That's what I'm talking to three or more females, and this is a command. All of these are what? For command. This whole one is for the only commands. This is fiddle amr, yes. And the damir that's inside, so real quick. The one that's inside here is enter. This is the actual damir, which is equivalent to anti. This alif itnaini is equivalent to antuma. And then the waw jama'ah is equivalent to antum. And the noon in this one is equivalent to what? Antunna. Yes.
So when you give the example udkhulu, have you salam, over here it's if'alu. So the beginning is u here for udkhulu and e for if'al.
Good.
Now
When we learn the fi'l, what you're going to learn is that you look at the third letter. So when you look at the third letter, right? See the third letter? If the third letter has a dhamma, then you make this a dhamma. If it's not a dhamma, whether it's fatha or kesra, then it's a kesra. And you see some people recite Quran mess this up. I've heard people, and the normal Arabs, they're going to use the same for all of them. They even messing up. They're not going to say, they stop at like the ayah starts udkhulu. I've heard people say idkhuluha bisalam. I heard people say that, make a mistake. It didn't change the meaning, but it's it's a lahnu khafi. It's a mistake, right? And it's because the third letter, if it has dhamma, then you put dhamma on the hamza tawassul. If not, you put kesra. The only time with hamza, and then the other time with hamza tawassul, only time you put a fatha on it is when it has with alif lam, like al masjid, like that. All right? People walking by look like they want to throw us out. Okay, so that's it for today. نكتفي بهذا القدر وسبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. This one PDF is a long time.
Yeah. I don't think we're going to be seeing you for another 2 weeks. We don't have school next week. And
Okay.
the week after that, we have something called Charity Week going on. I think we're going to have a class off for that as well.
So that's on a Wednesday?
Wednesday, yeah.
Oh, okay. So next week is off.
And the week after that one as well.
All right.
So we'll probably see you on, I think the 30th is when we have you.
Okay. All right. So, all right. Okay.
Also, I want to
I was
ask
thinking,
if you could like give homework maybe during this break too.
yeah.
Maybe like Quranic ayahs, and we can read through them and the meaning, that relate to whatever we learned.
Well, also focus on those first 50 words I gave you. Please memorize those. Now, what I'll do is I'll give you a quiz.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll give you a quiz when we come back.
Inshallah.
On those 50 words.
Yes, 30th.
Yeah, I'll give you a quiz.
All right.
Maybe only on the words.
Those 50 words and everything we covered.